All right, ladies, we are back after a very rousing Mexico GP. But before we get into that, we did have a topic request from Felicia, one of our lovely hosts. Felicia,
you want to call it a topic request as something that I was talking about, but Bex, I was talking to Afsa about that Tom Holland and Zendaya video that is literally everywhere. Let me tell you something.
I saw it the night it happened. I was like, you go, Spider-Man. You go.
That little man does not play about his woman. Okay?
I love that. It was great. I remember watching and I was like, oh, what's this video? And Tom followed in Spider-Man tradition. It is a tradition for Spider-Mans to do this. And Tom said Tom had to beef with the paparazzi because that's how he gets inducted into the Spider-Man Hall of Fame. And I loved it. You go, Tom.
I watched that video multiple times because it was hilarious.
Maybe biologically 5'6". He's all of 6'5" in spirit and heart.
Yeah,
he yanked that man.
Listen, when I saw his hand grip that poster or whatever it was and pull it, and security's like, "It's okay, Tom. It's okay, Tom. It's okay."
And Zendaya's be like, "It's good."
And she's like, "I'm fine." But you saw her little smirk on her face, like, "Yeah, he came back and got me."
It was.
Then they walked right into that event, took a cute ass photo.
It was great. Loved it.
I loved it.
Loved Tom Holland. Love Zendaya. Can't wait for the wedding. Super excited.
I'm here for them.
So excited for them.
I never really paid that much attention, not gonna lie, but that video.
I've been a Tom Zendaya shipper since day
first time.
Dot.
First relationship.
Since day.
Because they broke
back
up
when it was all
together,
rumors.
Right?
Yeah,
supposedly.
Rumors.
Yeah, the rumor is that they dated like way back during like Spider-Man 1, and then things got a little mixy, and they came back better than ever. I have been Tom and Zendaya shipper since the lip sync battle, babe. Since honestly, before the lip sync battle. Since before the lip sync battle.
The lip sync battle.
Yeah, they were like dancing, and I don't know where they were, but I was like, they're so cute together.
It was great. Oh my gosh. So good. Ugh, don't even get me started. I could watch Tom and Zendaya compilations all day.
Definitely. That video made me go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. They are quite cute.
I highly encourage all of our listeners to go down a Tom and Zendaya rabbit hole. It's amazing.
I love their interviews together. They are so precious.
It's so good.
I'm here for it.
I've come with another pop culture thing. Hot and late breaking, y'all.
Oh, God.
Giselle Bündchen.
Oh, I saw. Funny enough, I actually saw
she has a bun in that oven
from her old jiu-jitsu trainer, who's her new boyfriend. Her old jiu-jitsu trainer.
Isn't that how it always happens? That's what happened to Cassie. It was her trainer. That's who she ended up marrying.
It is, yeah.
And funny enough, Tom Brady posted an Instagram story of the sunset with Landslide by the Chicks.
What was he implying?
Somebody's in his feelings, okay? Because the baby mama now has somebody else's baby.
Literally, I was
and then how old is Giselle?
I actually don't know. Let me look it up. But like Tom, you like did the fumble of the century.
Yeah,
like that's all you. Like,
and
you shouldn't have gone back to football. She's 44.
Oh, that's kind of
good for her.
But
oh my god, she was dating Leonardo DiCaprio in the aughts. Horrifying. Hate that for her. Sorry, got distracted. Just distracted a little bit by that one. Hate that for her. Makes sense though, because she was 20, and then he broke up with her when she was 25.
Because that's his
Leo
limit.
has never been those allegations. I'm so sorry.
I don't think they're allegations. Like at this point, you can't break up with this many people when they are 25 and have people not go like, "Are you okay?"
Oh boy said 25 is my hard limit,
which is insane. Don't get me started on Leonardo DiCaprio. We can't get into that today.
We can't do it. No.
But all right, ladies, as per always, we're gonna hop into some F1 fashion. Felicia, you missed some great F1 fashion while you were out. We got into a discussion about Lewis's jean suit.
I heard.
I don't know if you've listened to the pod yet, but
I heard.
I
heard the commentary.
Go listen to our USA GP with our special guest if you haven't already. But anyway, getting into this week's F1 fashion, I will go first. Neither of my people are actually F1 drivers currently on the grid because none of them were inspiring me this week. So my project runway, and this was an easy one. Alexandra Saint-Milieu.
Okay, bitch. Can we talk about her?
Outfit.
Yes. Wait, and you know what I love?
Stunning.
Look in the background. Look at Charles. He's checking her out.
Yes, because she's stunning. She's absolutely gorgeous. This is a well-established fact.
Okay.
I love it. One, the all-white, slightly nude, the little beachy sandals, the hair, the sunglasses, the bag. It's all perfect. I am not one to make an F1 WAG stan account, but if I was, it would be for her. It would be for Alex.
She was serving all weekend.
She's always looks amazing. She looks
amazing. Saw her in, but she was like, she was in her bag this weekend.
She looks so good all the time.
She had a very particular silhouette that she went for the weekend, and I like it.
I love it.
She did a good job.
She's so good. She's great.
But that white outfit was
impeccable.
Everything.
Literally impeccable. And then she has another like drop waist one that she did with Charles. Amazing. Stunning.
She has
beautiful.
2 drop waist ones. She had the red one and the white one.
So true.
Love them both.
Just all stunning all the way through. But this is to be expected from such a stunning woman.
Yes.
Up next for my what not to wear. Honestly, I found a lot of the fashion just uninspiring, which is sad because the Mexico Grand Prix has so many like people who attend in stunning fashion. All of the people with the Day of the Dead outfits literally killing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, literally killing. So good.
Yeah.
So my my what not to wear is actually Romain Grosjean. In his Dad of 3 sweatshirt. I'm just saying, I think it's questionable. I think it is not fashionable, not cute. And I've always found these a little bit cringe.
He looks like exactly what his sweatshirt says, a dad of 3.
Yeah, I just think the shirt's a bit cringe. That's just me, though. I also don't like these shoes. But I just think the shirt's a little bit cringe. But he is a father of 3, so being cringe is kind of okay for him. Yeah. All right. What do you guys got?
So I'm gonna go.
Oh, go ahead.
So for mine, I'm actually gonna give it to George Russell in his Tommy Hilfiger.
For your Project Runway?
Yes, sorry. I thought I said that.
The sweatshirt with the jacket?
Yeah, I thought it was, to be honest, like just like Asa said, very uninspiring. There wasn't much I'd known. I probably would have looked for someone off grid because there was nothing there. But out of all of them, I was like, oh, that looks nice. Like, it's well presented. I like Posh George he gave. It was cute, but basic, but didn't, it was cute enough anyway. Honorable mention though goes to Charles Leclerc in his like mariachi outfit. I really like that. I love a good mariachi, so I really did like him in his, I don't want to call it a costume, but I'll put it in his maybe traditional.
So I consulted with my local Mexican bestie, and she did say that it was like a decently accurate, well-made mariachi outfit. Yeah. Now, the wigs and beards his friends were wearing?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Let's clock that tea. That's questionable.
I didn't
questionable,
see that.
Charles. Maybe have them take off the wigs next time. Okay.
Yeah.
But the outfit was on Charles' Instagram. The outfit was apparently good.
Okay. Well, I did not see that, so
it's okay.
I'll skip over that.
That's okay. The outfit is still good.
I did like his outfit. As for
that was cringe. What the helmet? Yeah.
As for what not to wear, I'm pretty much going to give it to everyone else on the grid because I didn't like anything. Oh, second honorable mention was the jacket Yuki had.
Which one?
I think was it on Media Day? It was like the green and black.
Yeah, I like that one.
RV jacket.
Oh yes, I saw it.
Yeah, that's my second. I just really like the jacket though. There's nothing else about the outfit that I really liked, but yeah, that's it. The rest of the grid, step up your game for Sao Paulo, please. I need something.
Anything.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, so my what not to wear is kind of the same one as my Project Runway. So it's Charles, because I did like the actual outfit, but then his little photo shoot with his friends just fucked it up for me. Because like even the helmet, like the helmet is beautiful, and I'm like, you could have had such a great photo shoot with this helmet. Instead, you got your little friends with their plastic wigs and mustaches out here. Anyway, so he's twofold for me. He's Project Runway and what not to wear.
Okay. That's really valid. His friend's wigs really threw me off. I was just like, guys,
it was so bad.
What are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing here?
It was so bad. But he's also the one that put the most effort
into actually putting on a cultural outfit. Yeah.
Any type of an outfit.
Yeah. So step it up next time. Step it up next time, guys.
We'll see what they got for Brazil.
We'll see. It'll probably also be lame.
Disappointing.
All right. Next up, we got our F1 news, and this F1 news is a little bit spicy, a little bit fun, and it also has to do with the race that we ended up watching. My first piece of F1 news is that the rumor mill is saying that Red Bull is offering a V-carb seat to Colapinto?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Supposedly, they've been in talks with Colapinto to offer him a V-carb seat. Which is obviously
Colapinto doesn't have a seat for 2025.
No, which is obviously very confusing and very like, huh? Because as we all know, there is currently the whole debacle about Checo's seat and who's going to be in the V-carb and who amongst everybody up for contention is filling the empty V-carb and the contracted but maybe empty Red Bull seat. So that's been a lot of tea. We've got Liam, we got Yuki, we got Colapinto, we got Checo, we got maybe Daniel coming back. We got everybody under the sun.
Do you think they're just trying to stir up the pot and they already know who they're going to pick?
Well, for V-carb?
Both.
For Red Bull, this is the thing that keeps throwing me, right? Because let's be real. Contracts can always be broken. That's a given. Right? Yes. That's the first thing. Contracts can always be broken. But everybody keeps talking like the Red Bull seat is open and not like a contract would have to be broken. They all keep being like, oh, who's going to be in the Red Bull seat? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Are you guys not professionals here?
Like, I feel so bad for Checo.
Like, y'all are talking about this man's bona fide, signed, paid out contract. Like it's not 2026. He has the contract for next year. That's what I'm saying. He has a seat for next year. Checo has the seat. He is signed on the dotted line. The contract is already contracted. They already announced his contract signing months ago. Mm-hmm. But everybody's going like, who's going to be in the seat? And I'm like, guys, I promise you, if they signed Checo after that horrible first half of the season, I truly do not think that this couple of race run of disappointment is going to face them. They signed him when it was looking bad for Brown.
when they could actually re-signed him when they had the ability to get out of their contract.
Yeah,
it was basically I think it was like
they re-signed him.
Re-signed him, and they actually had an out at that time, so
and didn't take it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I feel like people are. Because we talked about this, where we kept going like, Checo is a decent enough driver and also brings in bukus and bukus of money. He has Disney money. As we stated, he's sponsored by Disney.
No one else.
The man is sponsored by Disney. That man has a new Disney ad every week on his Instagram. Every day. Inside Out 2, sponsored. A new Lion King remake, somehow sponsored. A Patron bottle next to the Disney logo, somehow sponsored. Like, that man is rolling in money.
Damn.
And I'm like, why are we pretending like Checo doesn't have this?
That
like,
man is
yeah,
wealthy.
Red Bull, they like to mess around with people's contracts, but like...
Probably not that one.
Probably not that one, but just like he does have the contract. We're all acting like the seat is actually open.
It would actually be a situation if they were to break that contract.
Yeah, it would be a whole thing.
Damn. Okay, so say V-Carb were to give Colapinto the V-Carb seat.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be in one.
Yuki would be in the other. Unless they gave Checo's seat to Yuki, but yes.
But then Liam Lawson wouldn't have anywhere.
Yeah, which is the confusing part, because it's like, what's the point of signing?
Why did they sign him?
Why did they force Liam into this seat if they're gonna be like, hey, you get 6 races and then you're gone? When, like, I feel like they could have just broken the contract. Like, they could have just let him break his contract then.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Red Bull's kind of screwing the pooch.
They're just messy.
Right now. When it comes to these contracts, like, a lot of people are like, just let Daniel finish out the season. You don't need to bring Liam in. Then, like, I heard, like, Yuki might be doing testing for Red Bull. And it's just like, y'all some messy bitches. Y'all need to get this together.
They're very messy.
And I did hear, didn't they announce, was it them? Or was it Sauber that say they're going to have... Never mind, y'all. Forget. My brain is foggy.
That's
Move
okay.
on.
That's
okay. But yeah, things are messy at Red Bull. Hopefully they get it together. My other piece of news for you all is following the USA GP, McLaren tried to come to the stewards and do a right of review on Lando's 5-second penalty because they are petty, salty bitches. That right of review got thrown out immediately. Immediately. For reasons that are too jargony but amount to y'all didn't bring us any new evidence we didn't have before. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He overtook off the track. So that's that. But speaking of McLaren and speaking of Red Bull, the drivers have a driver briefing before every single race where they talk about any, like, outstanding questions, anything like that. But apparently, Lando and Max got very back and forth during this driver briefing, and there was a heated exchange. Or at least they got into an exchange, is what they say.
They would show it again.
I am praying that they... So, Felicia, for context, they used to film and air drivers' briefings.
Yeah.
Drivers' briefings used to be part of the broadcast the same way, like, practice is part of the broadcast.
Okay.
Right? Same way they used to air the entire cool-down room.
And
they were messy in that cool-down room frequently. Lewis...
Maybe that's
one of the
exactly
messiest bitches.
Lewis was messy.
I swear
and in the cool down.
I swear that they stopped the cool down room. I think they specifically stopped because of Lewis and all the tomfoolery that he would frequently cause in that cool down room.
What was he doing?
Okay, so the hat throwing incident between him and Nico Rosberg was in the cool down room. There were like many instances during the whole Brosades thing where him and Nico would speak languages to the third driver and not speak to the other. So, for example, let's say that Seb Vettel was the third driver, because this actually did happen. Nico would speak German to Seb to cut Lewis out of the conversation. When Daniel was in there, Nico tried to speak Italian to Daniel to cut Lewis out of the conversation. The Daniel was like, I don't know what to tell you like that. So, like, I could maybe have, like, a light conversation with you, but why are you speaking to me in Italian?
My God.
So the cooldown room used to be messy, because you would sit there, and they would be... Because normally, when they're on air, they're like, hey, you guys should speak English if you're speaking, like, in an English...
Yeah.
Like, unless you're speaking to your country's... Like, people.
Audience.
And Nico would switch to German so that he didn't have to speak to Lewis, and so that Lewis couldn't understand the conversation and therefore had to, like, not talk in it.
That's so disrespectful.
Very, very messy of him. I love him though. But anyway, yeah, I really wish they filmed it. I'm praying that somehow Drive to Survive got like blanket authorization to film drivers' briefings, because if they did,
that'd be good.
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
They used to be in those drivers' meetings bitching and moaning all the time. And I'm gonna lie, Lewis was responsible for half of the bitching.
I think I saw some like compilations of what they were, and like the faces that those men would make at each other. I'm like, y'all are grown.
Kimmy was always a funny person to watch.
So good. Checo's confused faces from one of those drivers' briefings. Roman Grosjean tried to tattletale on Lewis for unbuckling.
And then Lewis was like, well, what did he say? He's like, I didn't know I couldn't unbuckle. Or something stupid like
something
that.
Something very stupid. What? Well, no. It was something where it's like the guy was like, oh, well, yeah, you guys can unbuckle it like once you come to a stop or like when you're stopping. But like, you know, like, yeah, like when you're actually driving in the cooldown lap, you can't unbuckle it. Why are you asking that? Like, Lewis, you haven't been doing that, have you? And then he's like, oh, yeah.
Nope. But yeah, I saw some clips of it. Now I'm gonna actually really start looking for them though, because
they're funny.
That one cracked me up.
They're so funny. I need them to bring that. Would be a value add. Like F1 TV, you're trying to figure out how to add value to my purchase. That is a value add. That is an F1 TV exclusive value add. Make that an F1 TV exclusive. Fuck Sky Sports. Make that an F1 TV exclusive as the drivers' briefings room, the same way you do with the conferences. The conferences you have to catch on F1 TV after the fact. I'm like, give me the director's briefing, the driver's briefing.
That'd be great.
Let me sit down.
I'd actually sit and watch that.
All right. Well,
also didn't they used to have like a principals meeting?
They do also have a principals. Well, no, because the meeting that we saw between Toto and Christian, that's the principals meeting.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying no, as in that just sounds like a bad idea.
I'm just saying, if they could get the camera in the principals meeting last time, I need the camera in the driver's briefing this time. Because surely Drive to Survive was following Red Bull at Mexico Grand Prix. Surely.
Were they?
I would hope so.
Side note, do we know when the next season of Drive to Survive will air? Like
it is always a week or two before the first race, I think. Or is it a week before we're testing? It's in February.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Oh, so it'll be dropping soon.
Yeah, not too long. Trust me.
But it'll be for the 2023 season, right?
No, it'll be for the season we're watching right now.
Season.
Oh.
Yeah, they make a quick turnaround.
Yeah. Clearly. It'll feel like forever. Promise.
It really will.
You'll be counting down the days.
Just because I think the season started in March or February, and so just how long it takes. But I can imagine just trying to flip all that footage into the ongoing process.
Which I think is one of the things where, like, whenever people complain about they didn't show this, they didn't show that, and I'm like, girl,
child, they didn't have time to find that footage.
Like, there are only so many cameras people you can hire. Now, do I think Netflix should hire more? Yes, but
I really think they should.
We can't follow every
each team.
I think that they should. I do agree. They should have 10 camera crews. But I acknowledge that 10 camera crews at 24 races is a bit much.
Like, no offense, I don't really care what's going on at Sauber.
Girl, what if something juicy is happening over there because they ain't driving well?
Exactly. You're not going to know unless they film it.
I'm not really concerned at all about Alpine.
Oh, I forgot about Alpine.
Maybe Gasly and Ocon are cursing each other out in these team meetings.
Again?
Yeah, but that's what they've been doing their whole entire lives.
That's true.
I'm all right.
That's true. I'll give it to you. I'll give that one to you. I'll give that one.
Don't care. Okay. So you only need like 7. Wait, what else? Williams, and you only need Williams part-time because they're not that interesting.
Oh my God, that's true.
Just saying.
Do we need Aston Martin?
Oh, absolutely not. Forgot about them. See?
Maybe we really just need a McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes.
Top half of the grid.
Yes. I think top, and then you just kind of have like a floating crew. Trying to go where there's some extra.
Oh my god, they're gonna try and give us a Sauber episode this year, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Which would be a waste. Of
what are they going to
time.
do?
Well, exactly. I'm like, what are they talking about?
Are they just going to talk
They're
about the
gonna
fact that they always
about
lose?
Valtteri.
Oh, it's going to be Valtteri. It's going to be a Valtteri episode, which is acceptable. I love Valtteri episodes. I think Valtteri episodes are really good.
Because what are they I don't want to say, "Oh, Joe, you're always in last place."
I feel bad for my man Joe.
Poor baby.
I feel bad for him.
Poor baby.
Get that man a Prada sponsorship model. Make him a Prada model, and let's keep it pushing.
Isn't he already sponsored by Prada?
Yeah, but make him a Prada model, and I think life
proper model
go up for him.
Yeah.
Don't mess around with this moving around cars, risking your life stuff. They don't pay you good enough.
I know. Almost dying, flipping the car.
They did not pay them well enough for this. Joe, my man Yuki. I'm pretty sure Yuki was making like $125K 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was getting paid.
He was making the same as a senior consultant at a random consulting firm.
Getting basically paid F1 minimum wage.
Literally, hold up. I gotta find it because
Stop.
it was
that
criminal.
Is crazy.
Also, too, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if I had the money to pay him. Wait, that's who was he?
V-Carb.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. They got money.
Okay, so this year he's getting paid a base salary of $1 million, supposedly.
Which is still
low.
I'm like, all that money the F1 and the FIA have. Child, please. That's pathetic.
Yeah. It's not F1
so,
money, though.
It's not what?
It's not getting paid from F1 money. It's getting paid from V-Carb.
V-Carb. You know what I mean.
Okay, wait. So I think what it was, it's less that they're paying him 175. Somebody got paid like almost no money. Less that they're paying him 175. I think it's more so that like they're paying him $1 million, but then when you take into account like all of his like travel and his personal trainer and like his like all these things that he has
to pay for that.
I don't think they pay for all their because like Max has a private jet. Red Bull's not reimbursing him for his private jet usage.
Why? Of course not. But like that's
why they all bum a ride from each other in their private jet.
Yeah.
But I'm like saying like say he wants to take a commercial flight, V-Carb will not pay for that flight ticket?
Why would he take a commercial flight?
They take commercial flights.
They do take commercial flights.
They do fly commercial. We've seen them fly commercial before.
Maybe I've never seen them.
We have factually seen them fly commercial though.
I want to see them.
If I were one of them, I would not know. But like
plane or something.
George said something recently. Hold up. He said something recently where he was like the first couple of years of F1. He was making not F1, maybe it was F2 or something. He was making a 5-figure salary, but he was spending 6 figures in like expenses for it.
Damn.
I'm trying to find it right now.
I can see that.
Because it was like just an interview that he did where he was like, "Oh, I'm spending 5 figures, but like
you're spending 6 but making 5."
Yeah. But yeah, if I can find it, I will let the buddies know because I'm just like I literally just saw this because I'm searching on Yahoo. Why is that happening?
On Yahoo.
It's my default browser for some reason. I don't know.
Yahoo. Sorry.
Anyway, getting into this week's
race.
We got the Mexico Grand Prix, the Mexico City Grand Prix. Actually, I should be more specific. This Grand Prix was brought in I want to say 1962. It is 71 laps and is a 4.3 kilometer circuit length. The current fastest lap is a 1:17 held by Valtteri Bottas. It is held at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. Fun fact about this race, it has a really high altitude. So it is hard on the engines and also the driver's lungs.
Isn't it the highest altitude?
I believe it's the highest.
Because they're in the mountains, right? Technically.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're literally in the mountains. So they're like, what? So yeah,
So is this another physically taxing race for the drivers?
This is another physically taxing race. I think honestly, well, it's a physically taxing race, but not in like a same way. I think it's more so like car taxing. And so like the mental thing of like sometimes you have to lift and coast, sometimes you do this, sometimes you do that is like difficult. Yeah. Okay, wait. So the whole George thing, sorry, because it got stuck in my mind, was that back in 2023, the FIA increased the maximum fine a competitor can be handed to 1 million pounds or 1 million euros or something. And George was basically like, that's ridiculous. Because he said that in his first year of Formula One, he was on a 5-figure salary and lost over 6 figures in that first year for paying my trainer, paying for flights, paying for an assistant. And that's probably the case for 25% of the grid. So, like, that $1 million salary that they are claiming to pay, like, the lower paid drivers, I don't think that that's, like, real. I think that's, like, your contract value. But the amount of money that you actually take home from that after you like, give back to your investors, give back to the, is, like, more in, like, the 5, low 6 range.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Driving that car and almost killing myself for 100K is crazy.
Right. I'm like, you literally almost die on a regular basis.
Almost dead.
Like,
it's insanity.
And no, I'm sorry. No.
It's too much for me.
Y'all are really passionate about what you do.
And I love that for them. I love that for them.
And it's funny with Yuki, because Yuki is just like I really think that Yuki just kind of like happened into the racing. Yuki doesn't seem like whenever I see like these extra videos and like they're doing like history and knowledge of F1, Yuki is always knows the least about F1. Like, oh really? And I'm like, poor kid.
Free my man Yuki.
Yeah,
he's trying. He's doing his best.
He's doing so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can get into quali. We actually had a little bit of an exciting quali this week. Yeah. I felt anyway. It was definitely something. Let's start at Q1. Did you guys see anything special and exciting happen in Q1?
Girl. Wait.
Is that when Oscar went out?
Oscar and Checo.
Okay, yes.
Yep.
Oscar and Checo, which I think is just so criminal.
Not par for the course. Not with Oscar, anyway.
Checo, yes.
Girl.
You people.
Oh, sorry.
You people. Yeah, Oscar and Checo both got knocked out in Q1. Literally insane. Craziness. This is also, should note, not that I'm not giving them an excuse, I'm just making this noted to the people. That, there were multiple red flags during the practice sessions. And I believe practice session 2 was a tire test. And so I don't think that the people got lots of running.
What do you mean a tire test? What do you mean?
So, like, sometimes when they want to test out the tires for next year, they will have one of the practice sessions be a tire test. It's like, yes, they're doing practice, but they're not doing practice on, like, the same tire they normally would.
Got you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I didn't know that they would do that at... I mean, I guess it makes sense for them to do it during...
They want to run it on real vibes.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I would have thought they would have done something like that during, like, free practice or something, you know?
It was during free practice. That's the practice sessions. It's free practice.
Didn't you say we were talking about qualifying?
No, I said I was going back to the fact that they had a lot of red flags and also did a tire test during free practice. So they didn't have a lot of run. It's okay. So they didn't have a lot of running before quali.
You're right. Okay.
But yes, Checo Oscar out in Q1 alongside our usual suspects. Sorry, usual suspects. It's how the cookie crumbles right now. Okay, so out in quali for us for the Mexican GP in Q1, we had Franco, Oscar, Checo, Esteban, and Joe. Actually, not our usual suspects because somehow Valtteri made it to Q2. Everybody snap for Valtteri. Love that.
Snap.
Snaps.
It's his track.
It's his track. Then, when it came to Q2, things were not looking good for our boy.
Which boy? Which one?
Yuki. because he crashed
and
ended Q2.
Jesus, Yuki.
He took a pretty big crash, which was very sad. Glad he's okay. But
did y'all see that cameraman who almost got hit by him?
I did see the cameraman almost get hit. On top of that cameraman got an amazing shot. I bet you that cameraman was like, wow, I got the best angle in the world.
I need to find out if he actually, one, got a shot.
He did.
But two, what that
he
shot.
Did get a shot.
He did?
I've seen the
he
shot.
did.
You've seen it?
Well, because I think they actually showed his angle on the broadcast or something. Because there's an angle. I could have sworn there was an angle you could see of the crash where it's Yuki coming towards a camera, and I'm like, surely that's that guy.
I mean, but it could have been any other camera along that wall, though.
That's true. You
know, maybe one just safely, a little further down. You know,
yes, ones who were safely.
I was like, oh my god, you were in the line of fire.
There. Ready to take one, which
he said
scary.
Risk it all
for real, but
for the shot.
I guess good for him? Question mark. I guess. But out in that round, we had Yuki, Liam, Fernando, Lance, and to nobody's surprise, Valtteri, Rip, Mimi, and Valt. And then when it comes to Q3, honestly, I feel like it was par for the course. It was Carlos, Max, and Lando battling it out for the top three. Carlos ended up taking it away somehow. With Max and then Lando following him. George did out-qualify Lewis, sad face, but it happens. And then we did have both Haas's in Q3 and an Alpine and a Williams, just due to, Oscar and Checo falling out. But
I feel like Alex has been doing a little bit better at quality the last few races, but it's not translating sometimes to the race.
It's not looking good for him.
Yeah.
It's looking scary for him out there. He's getting fraud allegations, and I don't like that for him.
Fraud allegations?
I'm not gonna lie.
Fraud isn't like what?
Not fraud.
No, girl. Not fraud. He's getting fraud allegations as in, like, everybody was like, oh my god, Alex Albon, he's so good. I can't believe he's trapped at Williams. Da-da-da-da-da. And then Franco Colapinto's come in there and smacked him around a couple times.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not necessarily on fraud allegations, but I am kind of side-eyeing Alex a little bit because I was one who definitely thought like he's trapped, but it may not be trapped, and it may just be perfect placement. So I don't know.
Okay.
He's just underperforming. Since I don't know if he was just riding on the high of like homie next to me, like doesn't even finish a race most days. At least
true, yeah. He's probably used to being the one that's getting the pat on the back.
But I just looked at the standings. Alex has 12 points. Franco has 5.
That's
Damn,
crazy.
he just got here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
scary times be Alex for sure. Praying for him, hoping
and
that
then
it goes
Franco
well.
is so popular right now too.
I know, everybody loves him. Everyone loves him.
He is beloved at the moment, and then and he just got here, and he's already if I was Alex, I'd be a little pissed. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but praying for both of them. Hopefully, Franco gets a seat, and
I hope he does. I would like to see him again.
I want to see him again. He said that he doesn't have a seat right now, but they always say that, so we'll see.
Yes, they have to say that.
They have to say
but
that.
But my fingers are crossed for him.
Yes, or at least a reserve driver position.
Him and is Ollie like a definite like no go for the grid next year?
No, Ollie's with Haas, girl.
Yeah.
Duh, Felicia.
It's like
I'll be trying to remember, but so Ollie and Franco are the two rookies that I would really be excited to see next year.
Well, you'll get at least 50% of that wish.
Then Franco wouldn't be a rookie next year, would he?
Yeah, technically. I mean, he's only driven like 6 races.
No, okay.
Like Liam's still, I feel like, considered a rookie, and he
hasn't driven a full season yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, we can get into the race. I think this is gonna be a very contentious discussion, so this will be very fun for all of us. All right, so we can start at the start. We have Carlos in P1, Max in P2, Lando in P3. It's actually a very good track to start from P3 from. I think the past like 3 or 4 races. The person who started in P3 won. That obviously didn't happen today for many reasons that we'll get into. But at the beginning of the race, we see Max, Carlos, a little bit of Lando going head to head. Max and Carlos have a little bit of a battle, which ends up with Carlos going off track and giving the place back to Max. So we've got Max in front and then Carlos behind. Before we can get into any messiness with Lando trying to swoop in there, Yuki and Alex crash into each other.
That was the most unnecessary crash.
When literally I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, who hit Yuki? Oh my god, they suck. And then I was like, now Yuki.
Free my man Yuki. Free my man.
Do that.
Free my man Yuki. He ain't do nothing wrong.
Like, he was really trying to squeeze his way in there, and it just, my guy, it just wasn't. The shot you saw was not there.
Free my man. He didn't do nothing wrong. If you no longer go for a gap that exists, then you're no longer a racing driver, Yuki Tsunoda.
I feel like there are wise ways to go for the gap, and as a non-race driver, I don't think that was it.
Well, that's why you're not a racing driver. Anyways, the safety car comes out. My beloved safety car. She once again has come to save us.
You out there with your voodoo. You speaking into existence. He's like, hey, we need your safety car. 2 races, 2 safety cars.
I stand by it. I stand by it. I think this race would have been boring if we had not started off with a bang.
Boring.
I think starting off with a bang set the tone. I think it set the tone for the race. It made sure the energy was right.
But it was just a bad weekend for Yuki because he went out during quali and then crashed out during the race.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good for him. Those poor mechanics. I feel so bad about them. All right. Then, as soon as we get that whole safety car debacle sorted, it then comes out that apparently Checo started ahead of his grid box. And he gets given a 5-second penalty for it, which is very sad because he had already made up 5 places before the safety car.
Yep.
And it basically put him back
where
to where he started. So Checo was not having a good time.
But it's beyond like not having a good time. Like Checo. Okay. Couple of things. Because I think they were on the broadcast, they were like, was it a false start? They were trying to figure it out for a second. And then they realized, oh, no, he placed his car over the grid box line. Then I'm just like, okay, well, why can't they just like, if they see that, why can't you just tell them, hey, back up a little bit?
You can't like put the car in reverse. Like
I know you can't put yeah, I know. Okay. But I just feel like that's like,
wait, there's no reverse on an F1 car?
There is a reverse, but it's like bad and it's janky and it's like
all the time when they go off, it's really hard for them to like
get out. Yeah,
I know that, but I just feel like there was you could help correct that mistake before the race starts. So you don't.
I agree.
Right, because they have like sensors and things like that would be able to say that he was over the box, right?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where they're like, you have a guideline that's supposed to help you, so they're kind of like, if you miss the guideline,
I get
that's on you, King.
That really sucked.
Yes,
that does suck.
It was pretty bad. Hate that for him.
Yeah. Poor kid.
But yeah, so he ended up getting a 5-second penalty. This is not where the penalties will end for this race. Most assuredly, it is not. All right, we have a few uneventful laps, and then things at the front sort of get spicy again because Carlos manages to overtake Max, and then Max is not liking his car. Things are not going well.
Max hasn't liked his car since 2023.
Yes, because RB19, Rocky, best car ever lived.
Not Rocky.
His name was Rocky.
I can't deal with you.
I'm just telling you what his name is. And then we get into lap 10, 11, and 12. Which is where everything starts to go to absolute shit. Yep. So, Lando's catching Max. Lando tries to overtake Max. And while Max is defending, Lando has to go off the track. They both go off. at turn 11, they have their back and forth beef. Lando's like, oh, I was ahead on the Max is dangerous. And Max is like, oh, I was just defending my corner. Right? So we have multiple things happening here. One, we have Max allegedly forcing Lando off the track. And two, we have Max allegedly overtaking off the track and gaining a lasting advantage. Both of which Max gets a 10-second penalty for. Now,
Don't want to hear your whinging today.
20.
Don't want to hear your whinging today.
Now, really don't. Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say about this. Okay? Free my canceled wife. I stand with my canceled wife, Max Verstappen. God. Do I acknowledge that maybe Max did things that require penalties? Absolutely. All I ask is that if Lando gets a 5-second penalty for overtaking off the track, that Max be given a 5-second penalty for overtaking off the track. Yes.
No.
Yes. I'm sorry. The British don't get a pass in life. The British don't get a pass.
Okay. There is one thing that I read.
GTA, and I'm so sorry, sir, but it's not.
I don't care.
There's one thing that I saw that actually might be a reasoning as to why Max got hit so heavily and Lando didn't.
Oh, I think I know what you're saying, but I don't know if it's true.
I don't know if it's true, but did y'all hear about what Max's dad was saying?
I mean, Max, you tell us that Max was saying.
So basically, Max is saying there's a conflict of interest with the stewards.
Oh, yeah, because the McLaren founder's son was a steward.
Was one of the stewards, and the other one that he said was the problematic one was British. So they're saying he has an issue with Max because he's an English driver and favors Lando.
The stewards are... So one, we had the McLaren founder's son steward. That's already a blatant conflict of interest. We're not even going to talk about that one.
Completely.
The other steward is actually a notoriously hating Max steward.
See, I didn't even read that. I didn't know that one.
He has a good track record actually of Max steps a toe, maybe potentially out of line in a race, and that steward is there. Max is getting a penalty.
Yeah, here's the thing with the FIA. I need them to have a clear, strict, this is their job day in and day out, or whatever.
Well, remember they got rid of that because that used to be Michael Massey's job.
But
why did they get rid of it?
They need
Abu Dhabi 21.
Yeah. Every time you say it, it just breaks like I can't help it. But no,
that's fine. What the fuck?
Gosh, but
your spirit.
My whole mind met the lock. Oh no, I just feel like there needs to be a more. I think just leading up to one person is a little bit difficult, but there needs to be almost like a board of stewards.
I don't understand why it's not the same rotating 5 people.
Yes, that's it.
And they vote.
How many is
and
it?
I don't understand why
2 people, and it's different people every race.
Yes,
it's not
that
from
way
the same
one person has
grouping of people.
It is the same grouping, but it's the amount of stewards that there can be is a vast variety of people. So you could get so many different combinations of stewards, and it's they went the complete opposite direction where they were oh, Abu Dhabi happened because we put the decision-making power into one man's hands. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to have different stewards every single race across the FIA. And it's okay, you have still put the decision-making in one man's hands. It's just a bunch of different men at different times. And it's it needs to be...
And there's inconsistencies every race.
Yeah. It's a mess.
And then another thing is they don't seem to have a set, you do this, you get this, you do this, you get this. It seems depending on what happened and whatnot, then they decide what your penalty's going to be.
Well, because the problem is that they made a maximum penalty and a standard penalty for each thing, right? So technically overtaking off the track, they claim that they claimed this week that overtaking off the track's standard penalty is 10 seconds.
Okay.
Last week they claimed the standard penalty was 5 seconds. Is what we're saying. Where it's okay, right, what's the standard penalty?
They gave Lando the 5 seconds, right?
Last week. Yeah. And so it's what's the standard penalty? And also the FIA has been super clear in the past, and then obviously gone against their own word, that their stewarding decisions are based on the action that occurred, not the result. Right? So they will oftentimes say, like, if you push somebody off and nothing bad happens to them, you get the same penalty as if you push somebody off and as a result they like get stuck in the gravel or something. Right? Because they're like, we are penalizing the action you took, not that you pushing somebody off made them snap their wheel. And then, because then it's like, to what extent do you start going like, well, you see, you made a little bit of contact at turn 7, and then down the line they got a puncture, so it crashed them out. Like, you can't go down that whole trail of like what ifs and to what extent you're responsible. And so then that's my double thing. I'm like, overtaking off the track should just be a 5-second penalty. Like, it should just be a 5-second penalty. That way, it's also super like easy breezy, beautiful for people to just give it back and like not avoid the penalty. If people want to be dumb and stay ahead, they can not avoid the penalty. I am personally of the strategic opinion that Max purposely did not give that back so that he could fuck Lando's race, because it actually worked out well for him in the point scoring, for him to hold Lando up like that. So for context listeners, after Max overtook off track, before he had gotten the penalty, he did not give the place back. General wisdom is that if you're pretty sure you're going to get penalized, you should give the place back. Now, why might Max have not given the place back? In the act of holding Lando up and having this whole back and forth whining battle where he's like slowing Lando down because his car is so much slower than Lando's, the amount of time that cost Lando probably prevented Lando from catching up to get into first place again. And so in doing that, he made it so that Lando got second place and he got sixth place, instead of maybe just giving it back, not getting the 20 seconds of penalties, you know, and Max ending up in fourth place. The gap between first and fourth is 13 points. The gap between second and sixth is only 10 points. So everything worked out well for my man, is what I can say.
I can't deal
he
with
saved
you.
himself an extra point per race of buffer.
Oh my God.
With that tomfoolery. I'm not saying he should have been penalized. I'm saying I think everybody's penalties should be applied consistently. Which also, there were other people who pushed people off the track this race that didn't get penalized. Liam Lawson. Where's Liam Lawson's penalty?
It was feisty.
Where's Liam Lawson's blue flags penalty for not getting out of the way for the blue flags? Where's that penalty?
The blue flags?
It's when you're like being
getting lapped.
Yeah. He got 8 blue flags before he moved out of the way. You were supposed to get a maximum of 5.
Is that like
is it like it flashes in the car? Is that one of the things?
Gotcha. Yeah, like you passing them and that kind of stuff. So,
and he got
all
8.
I'm saying,
Damn.
He got 8, didn't get penalized. So I'm gonna say, let's apply our penalties consistently, people. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, so after this scuffle, we end up with Carlos ahead, and then we have Charles, who managed to get ahead during all of this tomfoolery that was occurring. And then Max is still ahead of Lando. Obviously, Lando will later take over Max and end up to that third position, eventually second position by the end of the race, due to some tomfoolery that happens with Charles at the end of the race. And actually throughout the race. So we can tap into Charles, because I personally feel that nothing else happened that I care about right now.
Well, I'm gonna comment that I did feel bad for Fernando on his 400.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my
God, retire.
Well, but did you see that thing where he's had an issue at all of
every
his
100th
centennial markers?
His 200th, 300th, and 400th.
Maybe
he's had
to
retire.
on all behind home.
He DNF'd all 4 of them.
That's
insane. 200, 300,
2, 3,
400.
and 4. He made it. He was fine.
I thought
his
100 he had one.
No, it was 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, so it was 3. Oh, okay, my bad.
Take your old tail home.
Poor thing.
Yeah, it's poor man. All right, to talk about Charles and Carlos a little bit, because I think it's very interesting what Ferrari decided to do here. I would like to remind everybody that Charles is in third place in the WDC, and that he is very close to Lando. I don't remember how many points it is. He's closer to Lando than Lando is Max. That's what I'm going to say here. And Carlos was ahead. Charles was in second. and there was about a 5-second gap. And when the gap gets under 5 seconds, we hear Carlos come on the radio and go like, "Come on, guys, don't be ridiculous. Like, think about the team." Basically,
Who said that?
and all of Carlos.
Okay.
As Charles starts to close in and get that 5-second gap down.
Wait, and so he's telling them to think about the team as in, let me
Tell Charles to back the fuck off me. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, from lap, whatever that happened, honestly, it happened pretty early in the race. I want to say like lap like 5 or 6. All the way to lap 45. Because I look at Charles's radios, even when they don't broadcast them, and they weren't broadcasting them because they wanted to fit a narrative. Charles is being told to lift and coast the entire race. Now, at the Mexico Grand Prix, you will often be told to lift and coast occasionally to protect the engine, because the thin air makes the engine have to work harder. Not the entire race.
Basically, they were saying, slow down, let Carlos. Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. Especially because Charles kept saying to them, like, you keep telling me to lift and coast. The temperatures on my dash say the car is fine. So why am I lifting and coasting? And they'd be like, oh, lift and coast for the engine. But it was for 45 laps straight. Which obviously then came to bite them in the ass later, because Charles could have built a bigger gap to Lando.
Sure
and what would have happened wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
Because he wouldn't have been pushing so hard.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Ferrari sort of feels like they owe Carlos one or a few.
My response to that?
Because they're kicking him to the curb.
My response to that? Y'all know that man shit.
They're kicking him to Williams too. They're like, damn, let's give him something.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I have found I don't seem to understand all the time why drivers actually listen. Like, if you see A and A, okay, let me not go down that route. But if you're seeing your car you don't need to lift and coast, then why do it? Like, I understand that you do need to follow team your whatever your team and team orders, but do what you think is best for your car and for your race.
Like, you're in the car.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like, I do feel like Charles just can't just be like, or I don't know if Charles said anything, but you can't.
I mean, he probably thinks that from the wall they're seeing something he's not
different.
Seeing.
Yeah. I don't know what they said in response, because he kept asking them, like, hey, you keep telling me to lift and coast. And I'm lifting and coasting because you guys might be seeing something that the engine is actually about to blow up. And you're just not telling me to stress me out. But I'm telling you on my steering wheel, it says engine looks great, zoom, zoom, zoom. So like, I didn't see what they said in response to him being like, my temperatures look fine. I don't know if they said like, oh, we're seeing something on our end, or if they just said like, Charles, just lift and coast, we'll talk about it later. Because sometimes if there's like something weird going on with the car and they don't want to broadcast they'll say like, we'll talk about it later. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, lift and coast, we'll talk about it after the race.
So you said you watch Charles's radios. How do you see just Charles's radios? Is that a thing on F1 TV?
I think you can just watch a driver. What I do is, I follow a lot of Charles fans accounts,
of course,
who are watching Charles's radios, and so then I like see updates on Charles and Max's radios frequently throughout the race. There also is a website that I used to use. I don't remember what it's called, where you can like get live updates of certain drivers' radios as the race is going, and get like a transcript of everything that they said. I use that sometimes for when I'm like, somebody's like, oh, da-da-da-da said this, da-da-da-da. Like, they're talking shit, and I'm like, actually, okay, let's pull the soundbite. Let's pull the
Did we see what Mr. Liam Lawson did?
We were just about to get into what Liam Lawson did.
We'll get to it.
We can get in. No, we can already get into it because
Liam's a little shit,
and
I kind of like it. I kind of
love him.
I didn't say it was bad for him to be a little shit, but he's a little shit.
I just don't understand how he had beef with Fernando, and he's had beef with Checo. I don't really understand. I don't know what
him off mid-race.
To the point where you're flipping him off mid-race while you overtake him is actually kind of crazy, though. Kind of crazy. And also, like, Liam put a hole in the side of Checo's car, and I'm like, Liam, that could be your car next year. You do your thing. You need to think big. The big picture. Right now, you're acting very George right before he signed the Mercedes contract. This is very George and Bottas in Imola. Okay? George did still get the contract, but it was looking shaky. Don't play yourself.
Don't get spicy now. But yeah, I was like, Liam Lawson, sir.
But yeah, on lap 18, Checo squeezes past Liam. Liam takes his position back and then pushes Checo off the track, which once again, how did Liam not get a penalty for that? Which makes Checo fall back a little bit. And then Checo pushes Liam off the track. Not Liam. Checo pushes Lance off the track. And ends up behind Checo. Checo got damaged from that whole back and forth. There's like a whole thing going on back there. Liam has damage to the bottom of his car after going over the curb. Lots of things bad happening for the people.
Basically chaos back there.
Basically chaos. And neither Checo nor Liam got penalties for any of the overtaking off track and pushing people off track that they did.
Yeah,
not 5 seconds, not 10 seconds. So
they both should have. Well, if we're comparing it to the other people who receive penalties for things like that, they both should have gotten penalties.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
You're so annoying.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You know who was kind of driving for his life a little bit?
Who?
Oscar.
Oscar was working his way up.
He was driving for his life.
He was grinding.
Excuse me, young man.
He was making his way. He was doing a little vroom, vroom, vroom.
His overtakes. He had a couple overtakes.
He had a good couple,
and they were nice.
He made it up to like P7, something like that.
I think it was 7.
Yeah, because right behind Max.
And like, what is it? His overtakes are really good. I feel like Oscar's coming for that ass. They better not underestimate Oscar.
I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to Oscar giving him that rat-ta-ta-ta.
You know, I'm like, don't mess with Oscar. He's quiet, but he won't come for you.
Oh, this is something I forgot to mention in our news, but supposedly Oscar's camp has been in talks with Red Bull.
Stop.
As well. So Oscar is another maybe for Red Bull in 2026, maybe?
Okay, I was like, but
yeah,
Checo
2026. Yeah, 2026, I think, is when Helmet was saying, like, oh yeah, Oscar's camp has been calling me, da-da-da-da.
Helmet's
been talking this week, too.
Helmet loves to yap. Helmet's where we get all our Red Bull news.
Running his mouth, just
he
talking.
He keeps us updated, which, thanks for something, I guess, Helmet. At least a little bit. But
with bullshit information.
I mean, yeah, but he likes to keep the girls. He puts us in business. Okay, we would not have an F1 news segment without Helmet. So thank you for keeping us in business.
That is true.
Anyway, not much happening throughout the rest of the race. Oscar's battling up. Liam, Lance, Checo cohort not looking great. At one point, we think it might rain. Doesn't end up raining.
Yeah, that was George weird. Like, I feel droplets, and then the announcers were like, "You may want to check to see if that's sweat."
What? Because he has done this before.
Several times before.
Yes. Has he really?
Yes. He's like, I see droplets on my visor. And then he was like, JK, sweat.
And I'm just like, George, you should at least check before you...
I don't trust George anymore when it comes to rain. Like, when George is like, oh, there's drops, I just...
Because were there even clouds?
There were. It was Max kept saying, like, it's getting dark. Like, why the fuck is it getting so dark?
Okay. Not really dark, but no one else said anything. And it would, and no one was, principals or engineers would check the radar, like, oh, there possibly is a rain cloud. It was just random. George was like, I feel droplets. And I'm just saying, oh gosh, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
George and Lewis did have a little...
They had a little back and forth. They were battling
the
battle of the silver arrows. Lewis Hamilton is winning the battle of the silver arrows. Yeah, Lewis ends up getting ahead of George because, of course, he does.
I would say George did a little defense. George
defended well. I thought George did a good job this race. It was just him and Lewis doing a little pow pow pow. Battling
Their
each other.
Car is slow as hell.
Their cars were
When I saw George and George
30 seconds.
30 seconds, I said, damn.
30 seconds, 30 seconds especially crazy because I was just like, what are you guys doing? I was like, you guys are only like 5 seconds ahead of Max, and Max had a 20-second penalty.
I kept seeing. I kept thinking when they were going when George and Lewis were like going back and forth. I was like, y'all better stop this because I see Max coming up right behind me. Y'all are slow as hell, and I just thought keep slowly trickling. I thought 13, 12, 11, 10. I said there he goes. But luckily they were able to get it together.
Jesus.
I was like,
They managed to pull it together to my great shock. I also was sitting there. I was like, oof. It depends on because Max's car was really slow this weekend. I was like, it really depends on how this ends up looking, but Max could go and I don't know if he would have ended up passing them, but I think he would have entered the fray, which would have been interesting. I really didn't need that. I really did not need that.
If they had continued on battling, I definitely could have seen it.
Yeah. But thankfully, Lewis overtook George. And then we get into our end game where we have the whole Charles, Lando, Carlos thing. And this is where I say that Carlos getting to decide whether or not Charles pushes fucked them over at the end of the race.
What was that?
So Lando's closing up. Yes. By the time that Lando gets within 4 seconds, Charles is like, hey, like, and Charles' engineer's like, okay, you can push a little bit. And Carlos is like, hey, I think that Charles shouldn't push too hard. I don't see any benefit to the team. And I'm like, the benefit to the team is Lando not passing Charles. Well, I know you don't care about nobody but you, but that's the benefit to the team. At least don't sell it as benefit to the team.
Well,
like, don't do that.
Well, he has to sell it as something other than I want to win. Yeah. Well,
I mean, honestly, with the way he's been yapping about wanting one last win with Ferrari, I feel like that's basically what happened. But Charles is slowly getting encroached on by Lando, and then Charles's car has a snap over an understeer.
It was so random to me.
Because I think he literally just had like a gust of wind snap over understeer.
And it was just like, push. I was like, what the heck happened here?
Almost goes into the barriers, manages to save it, but not before Lando overtakes him.
That's one thing I've noticed lately, and I think he had one from last
He had
race
an issue
as well.
qualifying.
He has very good reflexes with bringing the car back.
It's critical.
Because like anybody else you would see, not anybody else, but a lot of the other drivers, I see they're kind of doing a similar move. They're going into the barriers.
Yeah. Charles is that guy. That's why
I'm just saying. He got a little.
Yeah. Which, love that for him, I guess. I would love it more if he didn't have the snap and he kept P2 so that Lando was in P3, but
that would have been great.
Didn't happen. That's okay. And then by the end, Charles is pitting for a fast lap. Checo, I believe, also pits for a fast lap. Charles gets it. So Forza Ferrari, get that extra point. And Carlos ends up winning. I would say congrats, but...
You can say congrats.
I wouldn't be that. I would.
Don't be that person.
I mean,
Lando came in P2 and Charles came in P3.
Let me say this. This is a lot more disappointing than his first win.
Huh? Repeat that one.
You remember his first win with his appendix?
I didn't care about that personally.
Well, I personally thought it was like, damn, way to fight.
It was at Silverstone when they when they put Charles on those horrible tires to make sure he couldn't catch Carlos.
No, but Silverstone, Lewis won.
Not this Silverstone, last Silverstone.
Was it last Silverstone?
Was it last Silverstone or 2022 Silverstone?
No, he got his appendix taken out.
His appendix was this year. His appendix thing was this year.
Oh, you're talking about his first win this year.
Yes.
You were talking about his first win ever?
Australia.
I think it, it was Australia.
Okay.
I'm saying, during that one, I was like, oh, yay, Carlos. He fought through it and he did it. This time, I'm like, he just whined his way to a win.
Did not feel that way.
No.
It was just sort of like,
I did.
Well, I think I would, actually take that back. I think I was happy that someone else besides Max won.
You were.
Not surprising.
Because
You
it was
were.
looking like it was going to be a repeat of 2023, and I refused to sit through another season like that. So I was like, oh, thank the Lord Jesus, somebody else won. I didn't really care if it was Carlos, but I was just happy somebody else won.
Well, yeah. I thought it was sweet. Maybe that's the wrong word, but whatever.
It really is.
But yeah, this one I can't even find the high point.
The high point is that somebody else won.
A nuisance.
Anyway,
I'm tired of talking to you. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I gotta wake up for the work in the morning.
For the works.
I gotta go do some poll watching this week, so.
Oh, good luck. Fingers crossed.
It's the most
Y'all know
boring
we
thing
still
ever.
recorded, right?
We are still recording.
Oh.
Yes. I don't know why you thought we had stopped recording at the drop of a hat. We didn't even do our little intro. I ain't asked no questions.
I was like, girl, you just out here talking.
NT ways. Before we discuss Bex going to risk her life as a poll worker in Texas, because girl, that's crazy.
Because you know what I didn't do? Sign up to do that.
That's crazy. A poll worker in Texas, that's an oil rig job.
But let me tell you something. It's not even a poll worker. I'm not getting paid. The poll watcher. I just go sit and watch. I can't have my phone. Can't have ink up and letter. Paper and pen. Paper and pen for hours.
Wow. Well,
7 to 7.
Best of luck to you.
Maybe write a good paper. I don't know. Make a packing list.
Before I go on a tangent, let's finish something.
I was about to say we can wrap up the pod. I don't really have a question, so I guess I'll give you, Felicia, a non-Love is Blind watcher, an update on how things have gone.
Actually, yes, please.
On Love is Blind wise. So
okay.
Last time we left you off, Steven and Monica. Steven had some nasty, kinky messages on his phone, and they had broken up.
Which one was that one?
The I'm a little bit Sierra Leonean and I'm a mutt girl. Those two.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. So they're broken up, but she's like, he's a good guy. Like, no worries. Okay, cool, whatever. Then we have Hannah and Nick. Nick's the one who said he was a kicker, but Hannah doesn't understand football that well, so she thought she was getting Travis Kelce, and then she got a kicker. They're broken up too. There's a whole thing. She said, I'll treat you like my equal when you contribute like my equal. She gagged me with that one. Oh. I was like, oh.
I mean, she not wrong.
Nasty little piece of work.
I can't. I'm sorry. You can't say she's not wrong. Like, you can't say she's wrong. Like, I'm gonna treat you like one when you contribute like one.
The internet is very divided on Hannah.
I'm kidding.
The internet is very divided.
I'm not kidding.
I would say that from her story, her background, like she's definitely been someone who's like had to get it out of the mud. I think, if I'm not mistaken, her parents kicked her out when she was like 18. Mm-hmm. And so she's been on her own hustling
for like 8 years.
For a while. And so I can understand how she can look at this man being like, you don't have your shit together at your big age? No. This is not going to work. Like, so I get that. But at the same time, nasty and rude.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
She was very nasty. She was very rude.
When she's saying contribute, is she solely talking monetarily, or is she talking?
I think with Hannah, she's talking all encompassing, which is I think makes her point more valid. Actually,
yeah,
that's exactly why I'm asking.
It makes her point more valid because here's my thing about Hannah and Nick. Hannah is many things. She is rude. She is nasty. Nick
is that the blonde chick?
Yes, that's the blonde one.
Okay.
Nick is also many things. One of which being my nightmare version of a partner. Okay, any man who tells me he knows how to cook pasta and then looks me in my eye and asks me how much to fill up the pot, we're done. We're done. Because what the fuck do you mean? You tell me you know how to do a task and then you ask me how to do the task?
But also,
genuinely.
Then also, pasta, my guy?
That's the other thing. You told me
you
know how to cook
noodles?
Yeah, you told me you know how to cook pasta. Turns out he said, "Oh, I've cooked pasta once." And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where it's like, I was like, oh, Hannah, you are being really nasty and rude. There's a much better way to communicate this. On the other hand, I can see how you would get frustrated with somebody who's acting like they contribute equally to your household. And then when you task them with any contribution, they need to be handheld through it. Then you're not my equal. You are my junior, and I'm your manager.
I'm taking care of you.
Yeah. Like, I'm managing you. And managing somebody is, like, the worst thing to do in the world. It gets old so quick.
Honestly, not gonna lie, and I know y'all said she's kind of terrible, but from what I'm hearing, I'm on her side on this one.
No, here's the thing. The reason why I'm not on her side is because...
Okay. Because it's rude. It is rude.
There's ways to talk to people.
If you had seen the way that she actually did talk to Nick, I'm like, I probably would have been mad at Nick too. I don't know if I would have done all
That's
this.
the thing. Like, I've been like, okay, so
like I need to see it.
You could be like, hey, you just told me you don't like this is something we need to actually have a sit down conversation, discuss. Like, you are not to the level that I thought you would be. She would be like, I'm carrying you. You are nothing.
I turned you from a boy into a man.
Oh,
that kind of thing. Where it's like, girl,
I taught you everything.
You've known him all of 4 weeks, ma'am.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's also like things where it's like, for example, she said to him, like, oh, you seem like the kind of guy who would need to be told to take out the trash. Was she saying a true statement? Yes. Was she also being passive aggressive because Nick hadn't actually done that yet? Also, yes. Where it's like, let Nick not do it once. And then go like, I shouldn't have to tell you every single thing you need to do.
Yeah.
If she had at any point said, I shouldn't have to tell you every single thing you need to do, I'd have been like, there, Hannah, that's you communicating what's actually pissing you off.
Yeah.
Well,
A podcast I was listening to mentioned where it's like, Hannah, they mentioned this a little bit, which I think goes in with my point of, I think Hannah and Nick were the kind of people who think it's acceptable to hate your spouse.
oh yeah, I know
where
you
it's
talked
like,
about this.
where it's like, Hannah both wants / thinks she needs to lead and dictate every part of their relationship, and also resents Nick to high hell
because she
for making her feel that way. And it's like, it takes a special little bit of nuance where you both, like, you have to not consider your male partner inherently stupid. Like, you cannot believe men are inherently stupid and also be mad that you have to dictate every task to him.
Yeah, no.
Because if you believe men to be inherently stupid when it comes to anything that's not work, then you should expect that. The problem is that you think boomer humor marriage culture is like a reasonable way to feel about your spouse. It's this millennial thing that I think like you guys millennials really have not figured out.
You are not that far off, please.
Where I feel like millennials have cracked the code on the fact that men do weaponized incompetence. They have not fully cracked the code on it is weaponized incompetence because they aren't inherently stupid. Like, they haven't gotten to that second part where it's like, you cannot regard your partner as inherently stupid and as like, he has man brain, and then also think weaponized incompetence can get better in your home. Like, you can't do both. It's not going to work out well. It truly is not going to work out well. And I feel like that's the second hurdle. Is recognizing he's being incompetent on purpose means he's not inherently incompetent. Bam! And then you're good to go. And you can keep on pushing and leave him.
Honey.
But that's Hannah and Nick. Oh my gosh. What else do we got? Marissa and Ramses. Oh, girl. Marissa and Ramses went sideways. So, did we tell you about the fact that he didn't want to use condoms?
Yes.
But also, okay. So now we get into a whole separate issue.
Hold on. He didn't want to use condoms, and didn't she not want to use birth control?
She didn't want to use birth control because she has already has autoimmune diseases and stuff. Right. So she didn't want hormones. He doesn't want to have birth control, but also doesn't want to have babies for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
which makes no sense.
Right? Okay, cool. Right? Marissa clarified where she was like, I'm sure that he would have used condoms, and they went to just using, like, the cycle method. I'm a scientist. I'm not getting started on the cycle method. There are benefits, there are non-benefits. I can't do that right now. I can't do that right now.
We don't need to break that down.
Yeah. So then a viewer, and Bex, you can keep me honest with this one. I see them having a clearly tense moment, and I'm thinking, oh, this clearly has to do with the birth control thing again. They're having another birth control discussion. Lo and behold, they're having a fight because our girl Marissa has an autoimmune disease. She's in law school. She's commuting from Baltimore. Her vitamin D is low. She's PMSing. And Ramses is mad because they haven't had sex in like 3 days.
No, get out.
If I remember correctly,
she's sick.
So, but I will say this. From what I remember, the main thing was like her being in law school and her commuting. And she was PMS.
But she has an autoimmune disease that like fucks up her vitamin D and makes her sick.
But that's not what she actually said, though.
She did say I'm sick.
I thought it was just like PMSing and stuff like that.
Well, no, but I'm saying like on top of her baseline autoimmune disease, then all those other things make her sick.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. She does mention like I've been sick for 3 days.
Yeah, she did say that. I was like, okay, you're commuting from DC to Baltimore? That's not that bad. It's like 30 minutes.
Girl, no. No,
it's like an hour.
It's like an hour minimum. And to get into the city of Baltimore, it's an hour. Yeah,
from
if you
want
to from DC? In DC? No, actually, they're living in Arlington. It takes 30 minutes to drive from Arlington to me. I am 45 to 50 minutes from Inner Harbor, Baltimore. I know, because I went to get brunch with my mommy. It took Marty 50 minutes to drive us there. 30 extra minutes, that's almost an hour and a half. You're commuting every day, back and 3 hours round trip to law school?
No, that's too much.
I think she's going to UMD's law school. We talked about this, yeah. Okay. We don't know, but probably. UMD would be in College Park, though.
I understand.
Maybe UMBC.
I understood, like, she was being... To be honest, I just felt like I personally felt like there were underlying issues, and it all came out on this conversation that just went 100%. Sideways so quickly. Because I was just like, okay, I understand you're not feeling good, and also too, like, you have to understand she's not feeling good. And then also Ramsey just seems like he's such like a physical touch type person. It would drive me up the wall.
As somebody who is a physical touch person, I love a good hug. I love a good call. But like, if I am sick and I say the sentence, I have ADHD, so when I am sick, I'm already overstimulated and don't like to be touched. And the next thing you do is hug me, I'm punching.
Yeah, he kept on like,
I'm punching you.
I would just
it's all over.
The way I would just sort of like, I would just.
And I think the thing that made it all worse, that whole conversation, is Ramsey. Okay, so they confirmedly haven't had sex in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Right?
And calm your tits, guy.
Right. So Ramsey says, I just want to know if this is gonna be my life.
He did say that.
What? That's crazy. Your fiance doesn't bone you for 2 days, and you're like, what is my life becoming? Life?
Your fiance you met behind a wall, mind you, who is still trying to get to know you. You can't calm your tits for 3 days?
Also, like, bro, your fiance is a lawyer, okay? What if she decides that she wants to, I don't know, practice in New Jersey, and she has to take a weekend trip to New Jersey to go do some lawyer shit, okay? Are you gonna die? Are you gonna die because you went on a work trip?
Probably.
Is your whole body gonna explode?
No, you also,
Marissa brought up...
cheat.
Okay, that's the next thing Marissa brought up. Marissa brought up, like, you want me to conceive and birth children naturally. Mm-hmm. There's a good chance that during pregnancy, I'm not going to want to have sex. There's a good chance that postpartum, I might get postpartum depression or just have postpartum symptoms because, once again, I have an autoimmune disease and I will not want to have sex for potentially, like, months on end. I actually won't be allowed to have sex.
She may not want to have sex
just
because she has a baby.
Yeah, because she has a baby. Any reasons. And she's like, what are you going to do when I medically can't have sex with you for a month and a half? And then she was like, men cheat on their sick partners more. Like for women who are sick, they're cheating. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Ends the sentence. Stop. He ain't say nothing.
Stop.
He ain't say nothing.
Stop.
I was gagged.
He just said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. And I acknowledge that there may be an edit, and maybe he said words after that. I don't care.
I will say this season, I've seen the editing being like kind of sus, but that one definitely just seemed like that was just how he felt.
Yeah, it was crazy. So they ended up breaking up. Thank God.
Yeah, they didn't need to.
God. It sounded like they needed to.
I'm glad they got them off our screens. Taylor and Garrett, they went swimmingly. Everything's fine. They got married.
Which ones are Taylor and Garrett?
The Asian girl and the white scientist guy. They got married. Them. Okay, cool.
I liked them.
Alex and Tim, they broke up. Alex fell asleep after Tim's parents came. Like, they had like a 3 or 4 hour conversation. Then Alex went and took a nap because she was sleepy. And Tim was mad that she took a nap when the most important people in his life came.
Very upset.
Very upset.
Wait, so they were in the house and she went to basically, a nap?
They had the talk for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then she went, the way that Alex's happens is she essentially went, hey, I'm going to go lay down. Like, I'm not feeling well. I really need to, like, go to sleep, lay down. I'll be back in, like, 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah.
And then she came back after the hour. Tim's story is not adding up because he's like, my parents traveled 10 hours to come see you. Yeah. I was like, okay, so if your parents traveled 10 hours to come see her, then they're presumably still in the house when she wakes up because no psychopath drives 10 hours to have a 3-hour conversation and turn right back around.
Yep.
So presumably they're still in the house.
Yep.
Talking to you, their son.
Even if they're not still in the house, they're probably at least still in the city somewhere.
Exactly. So that was what Alex thing where Alex was like, girl, like, we were talking. It was a whole thing. They have a whole weird ass thing. In my opinion, I think Tim needs to go see a therapist. Mm-hmm. I think Tim needs to talk about trying to replace his sisters with his partners. Mm-hmm. Because Alex brought up, like, yeah, I just had a 3 or 4 hour conversation about how I can be a vessel to you and your family. And I'm like, Alex, clock his tea. Because almost all of the conversations that they had about family and roles and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, you are trying to fill the void in your family's life with another daughter, which he outright said. He outright said, like, oh, I want to give my parents another daughter.
Yeah.
It's like, what about giving yourself a wife? What about giving yourself a wife? Which I also maintain is why I think that Tim felt a little bit weird about being physical and affectionate with Alex, because he has so much of his sisters in his mind constantly that I'm like, yeah, it probably would feel weird because you're acting like she's a replacement sister for you and a replacement daughter for your parents.
Which
that's
is
not what's
incestuous.
happening. Which is like, that's not what's happening, bro. You're getting a wife. They aren't getting a replacement daughter. It was a mess with them. So they broke up. Now, let's get into Ashley and Tyler.
Which ones are these two? Oh, wait, the one with all the babies,
drama.
the semen donor?
Baby mama drama, supposed sperm donor.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we got a couple things to cover here.
Okay. How deep are you going into this? Are you going into baby?
I'm gonna give Felicia depth but highlighted.
Okay.
Depth but highlighted. Okay. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of 3 things that happened that contextualize what I'm about to say. Okay. Thing number 1. Baby mama dropped videos on Instagram saying the first child was conceived via sperm donation, but after my ex-wife left me, Tyler stepped up and asked to be a real father. Thing number 1. Okay. Thing she also said.
She was in a relationship with a woman, sperm donor.
Yes.
Wife left her. She has a baby. Tyler comes in, daddy of the year.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Daddy of the year. Then she says that Tyler and her conceived their twins naturally. Full au naturel. And that Tyler's parentage of those children and fatherhood has not ever been questioned. And that Tyler has not seen the children since he went to go film Love is Blind.
Over a year ago.
September last year to be exact.
God damn.
Right. Item number 1, baby mama. Enter into the ring.
What?
The ex-wife.
Stop.
This is where things start to get very juicy. So we got layers to this. Ex-wife is saying a couple things. One, ex-wife is saying her and baby mama were in an abusive relationship. So that contextualizes all of this mess. Thing number 2, Tyler and baby mama had been friends since forever. Okay. And they used to do military. And they used to do freaky nasty threesomes with Tyler's ex-fiance, baby mama and Tyler. And also some other friends that they would do like cycle out threesomes with. So Tyler and baby mama had supposedly already known each other carnally. First thing.
Carnally.
Second, and maybe third thing, I've lost count of how many things I've gotten into now. The ex-wife believes that baby number 1 was actually conceived naturally because she's saying that there were 2 sperm donor kits that they had bought.
Okay.
Turkey basting.
Both times, basically professional turkey basters. Both turkey bastings had not been successful.
Okay.
She leaves for 2 weeks, comes back.
Nope.
And baby mama is like, hey, I'm 6 weeks pregnant. And ex-wife is like, how's that possible? Timeline doesn't work out, and both the turkey basters didn't work. So how exactly did you get pregante? Interesting.
So she said she kind of had a feeling right then and there that she'd been cheating on, but she was just like, it's her kid. She don't step up.
Yeah, exactly. So then a whole divorce happens with them. You know, the baby mama leaves and is trying to have custody because, you know, she #signed for the baby. Trying to have custody. And when she tried to have custody, Tyler stepped up and tried to claim successfully, claimed parental consent of baby number 1 in the courts. They went to parental custody court, and Tyler was one of the parents.
You
clock that T.
You went to family court, and before the judge, before the judge said, "That's my baby," but you're just a sperm donor.
Also, important thing to note about this whole just a sperm donor tale that he's weaving. The children have his last name. All of them. Notably, well, probably because of this whole, parental consent thing. But in February of this year, Tyler and baby mama went to court to get the kids' names changed away from Tyler's last name to her last name.
Oh.
So, Tyler, how are they not your kids? But I'm seeing a Maryland court case for a name change away from your last name. So they had to have been... Why do they have your last name in the first place, Tyler? If they're sperm donor babies and they're not your kids.
Whose name is on the birth certificate for the twins?
Tyler's.
Tyler's name is on the birth certificate. Tyler is the daddy.
I'm just saying, they don't typically make sperm donors sign a birth certificate.
No, in fact, sperm donors normally sign documentation that would null and void that anyway.
Yep.
So all that to say, Tyler is a lion cheating baby daddy. But of course, to nobody's surprise, because bird brains are everywhere, Ashley's standing by her man. They got married. She's claiming, who knows better, social media or me? I knew the whole story. Tyler didn't lie that much. Da, 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 da.
I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, did we talk about this last time? Not talk about it, but the fact that they stay together?
No, because we didn't get revealed that last time.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But that's one thing I hate about this whole situation.
Bitch,
is that I want to stand up there and riot for Ashley. Her dumb ass is like,
I'm not rioting for her. She can stand.
Like,
she can stand by that man. And when once, here's what I'm going to say: a man who would abandon his children in front of America, will abandon your children in the secret. Okay, Ashley, I would be very, very wary of a man who abandons children who he's this publicly claimed. This is insanity.
Yep. In court. In a court of law, you claim this child.
Also, new hot late breaking news. I actually forgot about this because literally I saw this TikTok an hour ago. Ashley's daddy got on TikTok to say he found out Tyler had kids 2 weeks ago.
So through the show, basically.
No, not even through the show. Because somebody sent him one of the TikTokers' videos.
Oh my God.
And he went to Ashley and was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hello?
If you can't tell your dad about it, then you obviously hiding. And you obviously don't care.
Like, you're not... Her whole thing is that she's claiming that she knew the whole story the whole time. And I'm like, I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't tell your daddy?
Yep.
You didn't tell your dad that he had... What did you think was going to...
Is she, like, close with her dad?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay.
Like this. This is also the other thing. Is a lot of people have been like, oh my God, Ashley, I feel so bad for her, da-da-da-da, because they're not putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
Tyler was an active, maybe a liar, deadbeat, like a little bit of a liar, a little bit of an Instagram dad, but he was at least an active Instagram dad before getting married to Ashley.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of a sudden, kids' names are changing and he hasn't seen them. I think that Ashley may be a factor in him not seeing his children. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, defend Ashley. I'm like, Ashley is making the man be a deadbeat. Ashley supports him being a deadbeat. She is a deadbeat by proxy.
That's the thing. I don't think I'm not going to go too far and say she's making him be, because no one can make him.
She's a deadbeat by proxy.
But I also believe, like, how can you stand by somebody who doesn't take care of their kids?
Yep.
No matter how you want to slice it, whether you want to believe he's active, not active, sperm.
She's a deadbeat sympathizer.
But like to actually support someone who does and who has left his kids behind, basically. Girl, you are a bird.
Start anew with you. Like, no, come on.
Because also, like, you don't think that Bree and him thought that they were starting something, starting a little family, da-da-da-da. He could just as easily do that to you. This is always the thing that gets me about birds, where I'm like, you are bird-brained if you think that this is a once-in-a-moon decision or habit or whatever,
like,
right? The personality and character traits that make you abandon children do not go away overnight. They don't just la-di-da into the air and they never exist again and da-da-da-da. Tyler's relationship with his children is dependent on two things. His relationship with whoever birthed them, and if he has a new relationship. Ashley, if you two have a kid and then you get divorced, and his new girlfriend doesn't want him spending all his time with your kid, he will do the same thing. Like, I'm like, from a practicality standpoint, girl, let your evolutionary brain kick in for a second. Okay, you got to go. You have to go.
Oh, dear God.
Ashley and Tyler has me hot. Many other TikTok things have me hot, one of which I'm going to cover off the air because I refuse to get into it on the air. But
oh, God.
All of Love is Blind has me heated. And the reunion drops at midnight Pacific tonight. I'm not even watching. I already know Tyler and Ashley going to piss me off. I'm not watching that trash. I'm not watching that. I already know they're going to piss me off so bad.
All
right. Well, with that, I've gotten into my vitriol. I've done my duties. Listeners, please rate, review, subscribe. Send this to somebody who you would not give a 20-second penalty to just because they're not British.
Or to someone you would give a 20-second penalty to.
Enemies need podcasts too.
Hello.
We will see you next week for the end of our triple header in Brazil.
Brazil.
And we will see you, listeners. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.